EXPIRY.
Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? How's everyone doing? Welcome back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host, TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully, you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around still. I guess not today, though. I mean, markets didn't really do too much overall today. Chopping people up on either directions at the end of the day, hitting all stops, burning all stops, and still there were some positions that I guess gave you opportunities. My day was pretty much flat. My day ended flat. Wasn't really too eventful on the stocks that I was watching. And the ones that did go eventful later on came back and stopped me out. So it was like I was up a decent amount of money at one point in my day, like in the right off the open. But later on, once all my stops got triggered, I was just like, okay, what the hell is this type of day? So I just kind of sat back, watched the market a little bit, kind of gauged the market, noticed that not really much was going on. So just fought my way back to flat after getting stopped out on all my winning trades. So that was a little bit annoying. But I think tomorrow is very, very exciting, as you guys can see right down below in the description of the title. In the title, you can see most of the things that got me excited for the Tuesday, March 12th. Is the official IPO lockup expiry for ARM. We'll talk about that more in depth a little bit once we started the show going over here. We also have CPI data coming out at 8:30 a.m. Obviously, CPI data will dictate how the interest rates are going to be moving around and how the inflation is going to be fought and so on. So FOMC, which is coming out next week, is going to be taking a look at the CPI data, and we'll see if tomorrow the market can kind of start triggering a move back into the north side at 8:30, or does it trigger a move to the south side? Sadly, and does this trigger the bear move in the market, as some of the bears would like to look for that sell-off? I guess some of the bears being Michael Burry. Didn't he actually close his shorts though? I think he closed his shorts, if I remember accurately. Trying to scratch my brain, trying to think if I remember him closing his shorts or not. But he's probably just gonna open it back up and be like, aha, I never really closed it once the market's going down. So watch out for that move. Overall though, main things that got me excited for tomorrow, one of them I mentioned already, the ARM IPO lockup expiry period. We also got Oracle Oracle earnings report, which brought in a good 14% move to the north side on the Oracle, and CPI, like I mentioned not too long ago, coming out with that number at 8:30 a.m. Consumer Price Index, and we'll see if it's hotter than expected or not, and how can that set us up with some possible trade ideas, some possible trade moves, and all that fun side. We got some lights glowing over here. What do we get? Thank you for subscribing. We got a new subscriber. Thank you, Tevari. I appreciate that subscribe. Much love. Man, my throat's scratchy. TH, what's up, brother? How you doing? Ryan, yo, what's up? Thinking of getting a secret labs chair. Is it worth it? 100% worth it. In my opinion, I mean, I've been having this chair for over 3-4 years now, maybe a little bit more than that, probably 5 years, about the same time as I got this computer, or I built this computer myself. So around 5 years ago, if I remember correctly. So it's been a little while. Is it 5 years? Yeah, I think it's been around 5 years. This is the, no, it's not. 4 years. This is a 2020 model, and I probably got it in 2021, so 3 years, and it's lasted me pretty damn well for those last 3 years. Love this chair, so good that's actually we got another one for my dad downstairs. So my dad has one too, and he loves it. For somebody with the back pain like my dad, sadly, we needed to get something very stable, and this chair is supportive. Secret Labs, if you're watching, I'm giving you a very good sales pitch over here. So yeah, go check them out. Their newer models are actually a little bit more exciting because they have magnetic pillows. This pillow over here is strap based. The strap based is good because anytime I get too tired of Excel sheeting it up, I just kind of strap this on and just go to bed for a bit. So this is pretty good. I like this. This is also good for the neck right here, to take it off the strap and then kind of relax when you're watching a movie. It's a nice little, wow, god damn it. I have to go clean my hand a little bit. Push this back. Okay, so this one, when you're watching a movie, you can kind of lean back and kind of just sit back and watch a movie or whatever. That's pretty cool. So this pillow comes into clutch for that. But besides that, I don't really use the pillow too much. And if you're gaming, you're not really sitting upright when you're gaming. Come on, let's be real. You're playing like this, like a little goblin. But yeah, overall, this pillow's nice. The newer chair has like a magnetic pillow, if I remember accurately, and I will be right back. All right, let's get it started. We are going to start with what we always do, which is our lovely watch list on the day. So let me get the screen started. Let me move the transition setting to fade, and pa-da! We got the watch list, ladies and gentlemen. What we are going to talk about for the most of this episode today is going to be about ARM, Oracle, Asana, ADM, ONN, KSS, Manu. Most of these stocks, Oracle up to Manu, are stocks that are going to either announce earnings tomorrow pre-market or already have announced earnings today after hours. A couple other stocks that have announced earnings already, Costco and Marvell, are the only ones that I'm kind of interested in from last week to see if they have a day 2, day 3 type of play. Marvell actually set up picture perfect like we talked about from yesterday. So we'll talk about Marvell a little bit and how beautiful of a trade setup it was over there. With ARM's IPO lockup period coming into play, I'm expecting some fireworks on ARM. So if ARM has a little bit of a fireworks over there, then maybe AMD, Micron, TSM, obviously AMD and Nvidia, along with SMCI, which have been the leaders of the sector so far. But with ARM taking over the importance in terms of catalyst, I think ARM might actually have its own secular movement, but you'll still see how AMD, Micron, TSM, and Nvidia move around. So those are also on the watch list. You can't forget the wonderful cryptocurrency market, baby. We got Bitcoin at 72,000 now, so let's go. It's almost at 100K Canadian. So I mean, I'm excited for that move. Overall, can't wait to see how much higher can we go. How high can we go? Let's go. It's not how low can you go. How high can you go? Take Bitcoin all the way to the north side, and hopefully Ethereum can travel along with it. And last but not least, we have the Magnificent Seven, the Apples and the Nvidias and the Teslas of the market, which we'll take a look at where they are, see if we can find some trades on them. But most important for me tomorrow will be an Oracle, ARM, and Asana most likely, and then we'll see how Micron or Marvell or cryptocurrency stocks maybe help us facilitate to our PNL, either add to it or take away from it. But honestly, I think the most important stocks tomorrow are going to be ARM. What is this thing called at the back that flashed when I subscribed to your channel? So cool. Oh, the lights that I have back there, those are just the nano leaf lights. I didn't mean to hit that one. They're just called like nano leaf lights. I think you can set them up to do whatever you want. This one actually reacts to my voice, so you'll see it move around anytime I'm talking. That little bar reacts to sound, so this one's good for like when you have music playing, like okay, that didn't work because my beatbox is not working. But yeah, it has a cool little stuff that you can do with it. But I set it up so we have a nice little ambiance going in the background while we're talking about stonks. but at the same time, it triggers some stuff so it can alert me anytime you guys do some cool things like subscribe, hit that super chat button, or hit that member button, or anything of any of that cool stuff. Ani coming in with the late. You're late to class, Ani. You gotta fill in the what's that thing called? The application? No, it's not an application. You gotta fill in the slip, Ani, as to why you're late. You're late. You gotta fill in the slip. Hopefully, your parents have a valid reason as to why you're late to school today. But school's in session, classes in session, teacher TraderPrad. That sounded weird. I'm here. Let's get the late slip. There you go. The late slip. I'm going to need you to get the late slip slime, my friend. I forgot about all that nonsense. But let's get started over here. I'm going to start with deleting all of my old lines because I don't want to use that color anymore. It's that simple. We don't like to use that color anymore. We're just going to get rid of most of our lines and start fresh, absolutely fresh. This also gives me a brand new perspective on this charts. Doesn't get, I don't get tunnel vision, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Not really tunnel vision, but influenced by the old Prad. I want the new Prad to start leveling out, putting out some levels on this stock. See how we can find some areas to possibly trade this position. Like I mentioned already at the start of the show, and also in the description, Oracle bumps up insanely to the north side. Monster bump up to the north side on Oracle on the earnings report, actually moving about 13% higher. So we do know it went up, but the question is, how high did we go? So let's kind of put in some areas. I saw the lights flash. That means somebody hit the subscribe or the super chat. I don't like your lights. You were late, not me, says Ani. Okay, Ani, calm down, calm down. Ani got upset, guys. Everyone give Ani a hug, aka Professor Prad. Yeah, Professor Prad's in class. Ani, you still need to sign the late slip. You're late, okay? You don't get an excuse. Okay, these are the levels that I'm interested about. They're a little bit far out. Let's take a look at this chart. Let's go see what happened on the stock. 127.57, 130 came into play. I'm going to go back on the daily chart. 130. Are we above? Oh my goodness, we're above the 52-week high. Is that the all-time high on this position? Oh, wow. See, I didn't even know about that. We're above the all-time high on this stock. So new all-time high coming into Oracle, ladies and gentlemen. This just increases our chance to have fun on this position. Now, let me paint some scenarios for ourselves. CPI comes out good at 8:30. You think Oracle's stopping its train to the north side? I don't think so. With all things AI, with all things cloud servers, data centers, and everything that Oracle does, Java, the programming language, I don't think if they still maintain it, but it's basically by Oracle, if I remember correctly. Or is that C++? Java Wikipedia? Who made this? Was it Oracle? Yeah, Oracle. There you go. Oh. That's the same picture I used in my thumbnail today. That's hilarious. But the Oracle, Java, programming languages, data centers, all that fun stuff over there. We're looking to see how this stock actually performed in the earnings report. So for that, we're going to head over to our trusty friends at Benzinga. Make sure you go check the link below in the description to find out about Benzinga and their amazing software. Oracle could have actually helped Nvidia move up too. Looks like Nvidia moved up about 1.42% to the north side at the time of the report, and that's probably because of Oracle 100%, right? But let's go take a look at the report over here. Oracle earnings revenue miss, EPS beat. So we did get a miss on revenue and a slight beat on EPS, 2.4%. Okay, that still went up. That means their guidance is amazing. Cloud infrastructure business in hyper growth, strong AI demand, and more. Oracle reported for fiscal third quarter financial results after the market closed on Monday. Here's a look at the key metrics from the quarter. What happened? Oracle's third quarter revenue increased 7% year over year to 13.3 billion, which missed the consensus estimates of 13.3. Come on, guys. Really? According to Benzinga Pro, the company reported quarterly earnings of 1.41 per share, which beat average estimates of 1.38. It's a nice little beat on EPS. Pretty much in line. Revenue didn't really come out with a big revenue beat, but even though they didn't really beat the estimates, they did increase revenue 7% year over year. So nice little bump up over there. Total remaining performance obligations went up 29%. Total cloud revenues went up 25%. Cloud infrastructure revenues were up by 49%. Cloud infrastructure revenues and cloud application revenues were up 14%. Fusion cloud revenue was up 18%, and NetSuite cloud ERP revenue was up 20%. I don't see anything that says down overall, so pretty big beat on what they were expecting, or at least pretty big beat on per sector and per division of Oracle. So nice little report so far. We expect to continue receiving large contracts reserving cloud infrastructure capacity because the demand of our Gen 2 AI infrastructure substantially exceeds supply, despite the fact that we are opening new and expanding existing cloud data centers very, very rapidly, said CEO Safra Katz. That's a cool last name. We expect that 43% of our current $80 billion of remaining performance obligations will be recognized as revenue over the next 4 quarters, and that our Gen 2 cloud infrastructure businesses will remain in the hypergrowth phase, up 53% in Q3 for the foreseeable future. Okay, more upside is what they're basically guessing, but they didn't really give us an outlook. No outlook so far. Let me see if we can quickly find outlook somewhere. Don't see outlook there. Don't see an outlook there. Don't see an outlook there either. But overall, they grew on every single sector. They are talking about more revenue coming in, about $80 billion worth of revenue coming in over the next 4 quarters. They still got a bunch of other money to come in from their Gen 2 side also. Oracle's board has also declared a quarterly cash dividend of 40 cents per share to be paid on April 24th to stockholders of record as of April 10th. So you still have some time over there to buy up the position if you want to be involved in that 40 cents per share. But clearly the stock making a new all-time high. Not really sure how many people will want to be punching it, but that's what we're going to be banking on to the move to the north side if the 830 number comes out good. Oracle shares went up about 8%. It actually went up overall of 13% in the after hours, or 13.6 or so. Monster move into new all-time high, breaking out multiple areas. Let's quickly put in the current earnings anchor VWAP. Anchor VWAP for earnings coming in over here on Oracle right around 124, 125 or so. Nice little support also showing up in front of $124 over here. Looking to see if any pullbacks into 124 in case 127.50 do get rejected. I'm saying 127.50 because that was the previous all-time high. So starting with supports to the downside over here, looking for 127.50 to hold up. If we don't hold up at 127.50, I'm looking for somewhere around 124 as my next bottom, and then the stock technically should not go under 124, but if it does, looks like we have somewhere into 122. What does that 122 line come from? Right over here. I mean, I wouldn't really, I guess it did consolidate for multiple days and kind of struggled over here. It was a double top before we broke out also, so that could kind of come into support, so I'm just gonna put it in. I don't want to regret it, and it's not using that as support and watching the stock bounce off that, so we could use that. In my opinion, we technically should not go under 122, so that's a pretty important area if the stock is already under 127.50, sadly. So watching how the stock behaves going to the downside. Going to the upside, it's blue skies, ladies and gentlemen. Much moves to the upside promised, as especially if the CPI, as I keep saying, at 830 comes out good. The stock is ripping, or should I say reaping, as my co-host at one point used to always say, the ever so great Miss V. We miss her. You guys know her. Hit the like if you love her. All right. I think if NVIDIA can hold 850, it's still looking very good to the upside. I think NVIDIA is 100% still looking very good to the upside. I don't think the story is done anytime soon. I think NVIDIA has to even maybe go hold 820 or hold 800. I honestly believe NVIDIA will become the world's biggest company sometime, maybe not this year, but eventually. I think in the next 4 years, I think NVIDIA could easily just take over being the world's biggest company. Very much possible, man. We were so close to being the world's second biggest company today. Fun fact, Larry Ellison owns an island. Is it like an Epstein Island? Or is it that guy who owns that Hawaii island or something? who bought an island in Hawaii and like ran people out of there, ran the locals out of there or something? Is Larry Ellison that guy? I know he's the CEO and founder of Oracle, but Jeffstein Island, Jeffrey Epstein Island type of island for Larry Ellison. If so, I have to remove this thumbnail before I get killed. Before I get killed. Zuckerberg bought Hawaii, so it was Zuckerberg. Ah. Anyways, I don't really know about all that nonsense. All I know is I want to trade stonks, and tomorrow Oracle taking over a pretty high priority for us. Oracle, seeing how this one sets up in pre-market, might have to revamp our levels tomorrow. ATR of $2.33. I think we're going to see a way bigger ATR, so be excited. Have this one on your watch. Look for the previous all-time high. Look for this 124 to 122 area to come into support. Don't think the stock should go... Ooh, my back just started killing me. Look for the support to come in at the 122 area. If we are under 127 and 124, I think you will find an opportunity to get along there. Major uptrend in Oracle, says TH, and I would concur. I honestly think you will not even see the stock below 127.50 tomorrow, and if it does come into play, it's the only chance you will have to get long. So be ready for it. But hey, not your financial advisor, but technically I am a financial advisor. Just not your financial advisor, but that's a disclaimer. Not financial advice at the end of the day. These are just ideas and trades that I might be putting on if the right setups show up. So I'm calling it out, calling how I see it. Oracle on play. Next up, ARM, or should we stay in the IPO, not IPO, sorry, the earnings system right now? Maybe not. I want to kind of go into, you're still drawing stupid dots, Prad. Still drawing stupid dots, mate. Still drawing stupid dots, innit? Delete that. Move this over. Move this over. Where's my... Okay, whatever, who cares? Put that there. Delete that. Yes. Yesterday's low. We got the earnings anchor VWAP. That's the earnings day high. We kind of just closed into the earnings day high today, technically. Maybe I'll just put that line back there. We kind of closed into the earnings day high overall. This is the move. You can see how we kind of double bottomed into that. Okay, that's pretty surprising. Didn't really expect that to show up over there, but okay. ARM over here setting up for a little bit of a move. I mean, this stock got sold from 160 to 120, and IPO lockup periods tomorrow. So what does that really mean for those of you who don't know? Let's dive deeper into it. The IPO lockup period is for like investors, big time players like CEOs, founders, CFOs, and so on. Not necessarily for like employees, at least from my knowledge, not necessarily for employees of the company. They probably already got to exit, but some employees might actually have that restriction based on the type of contract that they might have been signed to. For example, Reddit, which is IPOing soon, some of Reddit's shares are going to be bought out by the users and the moderators on Reddit who have enough karma. Reddit karma is like a system, a point system based on how active you are and how good you are on the system. You get good karma. So if you have enough amount of karma, you can actually go out there and purchase Reddit shares before it actually IPOs, probably at a lower price than what it actually is going to IPO at, and be able to get out on the IPO, so those people don't have a lockup period. That's the same kind of idea for ARM. What makes ARM a little bit more exciting is a lot of the free float on ARM is actually still held by Miyasoshi-san. Miyasoshi-san still holding a lot of his shares and just either waiting to dump the position after it squeezes, or they just dump it tomorrow, and then we just see a bunch of move down over here. So I'm looking to see those big level positioning people. Are they looking to take profit? Because ARM is actually well above its IPO price, right? We IPO'd into $55. We are into now $150, $120. So possible exit opportunities. I'm not showing the chart, I know that, but possible exit chances over here on the IPO lockup period, which brings in some fun move. Now, if we are able to go to the full screen and kind of show you a stock. I'm trying to remember what stock is kind of good to show you as a lockup period. I think Palantir lockup period, although Palantir was direct listing. Um, is there any stock that you guys remember that recently was hyped up and end up with the thing? If so, we can kind of Google what day its lockup period was and kind of study for it. But overall, ARM over here, very very excited to see how this one moves into the pre-market, possibly a big sell-off starting in pre-market, and it just trends all the way down. I think Rivian was actually a good example. I just don't know what date it was where Rivian's lockup was expired, but Rivian was a pretty good day. If you can study that, go look at that chart where the stock just trended down the whole day from pre-market going into the close. Gave you all day to just join the trend, join the trend, join the trend. All you had to do was just pop, short the pop, short the pops. I think it had like a big 15% down day or so or something. So looking to see what ARM can do over here. Very, very hyped up of a stock. Obviously, we know ARM provides chips for some of the biggest companies out there. Maybe it gets bought up, maybe it doesn't really get sold. Some of them might be looking for ARM to kind of get traction along with Nvidia. So you might just see a little bit of a short squeeze taking place, even though there's not really too much of a short float on ARM. So overall, lots of theories floating around. It just depends on what really the order flow comes out as. Is the order flow bearish? Is the order flow bullish? How's the order flow reacting on pops? How's the order flow reacting on drops? And are buyers coming in and supporting levels? If there's no buyers and we're just constantly just selling, then you want to kind of join the trend when that shows up too. So you want to be very very involved with ARM tomorrow, most likely, especially with also how CPI reacts. We'll see how CPI can help the trade or break the trade. So ARM, very very important. But right now, a couple of the levels that I'm watching will be right around this, today's high, today's low. Well, I'm not going to really put any levels in my watch list just yet. I want to see how the stock trades in pre-market. It has an ATR of $10 now, and its average volume is actually 29 million shares, or 24 million shares average volume. Today's volume was a little bit lower than the average volume, so that's kind of sad. But I think tomorrow we'll see easily 20 to 50 to 100 million shares coming on ARM, as we are expecting a lot more float opening up on this position. So keep watching ARM without fail. And if you are watching ARM, you have to kind of watch at the same time other positions in the same sector, such as AMD. Let's quickly move over AMD's today's low, AMD's today's high, move some of my other lines over here over. And look at how AMD is moving around. Does AMD set up for a downside move? Micron, we basically read the earnings report to you guys on the stream live, and we told you how bearish of a report that was, and exactly the move coming into play over here for Micron ever since. Sadly, going to the 5-minute real quick, because I don't think I put in the earnings anchor VWAP on this stock. Was it Micron or was it Marvell? Sorry, I'm talking about Marvell, not Micron. Oops, I forgot. I'm talking about Marvell. So that was a pretty big move on Marvell to the downside. Let's actually go to Marvell right now. That's today's low. That's today's high. Today was actually day 2. This was day 1. Today was day 2. We kind of can delete this bad boy, I think, and we can leave that one. We can leave this one. I want to go to the 5-minute over here and drag this line over real quick. Okay, done. And Marvell's kind of marked up too. So we got Nvidia tagged, we got AMD tagged, we got Micron tagged, we got Marvell tagged, and ARM, obviously, we got that one marked up too with our levels of interest. Now we're just waiting to see how these markets move around. I mean, for a quick little example, you can go take a look at SMH. Absolute rocket ship to the north side. This whole sector has been, simply put, nobody knows what to expect at this point. We still have the S&P 500 rebalance coming in on March 21st. March 18th, sorry. S&P rebalance coming in on March 18th. So on March 18th, Monday, the SMCI stock will actually be in the S&P 500 index instead of the S&P 400 index. So that will possibly bring in more moves to the north side on that position. SMCI continuing to kind of go up and go down and go up and go down. Not really ready to flush just yet. And if this one keeps moving around, Nvidia could continue catching some traction. We talked about that 820 area yesterday. That's where the earnings anchored VWAP is. So looking to see if 820 area can come in for some support on Nvidia. We still got a little bit more move down over here. Another $20 move down from today's low on Nvidia. I actually didn't move my levels down on Nvidia, looks like. So let me quickly drag them over. But watching how this stock plays out overall. And I want to delete that because that one's not really anything of important anymore. Ooh, that's pretty cool actually. Nah, we're going to delete it. Go back to the 1 year, move that over here, move that over there. Today's high, today's low, and we're ready for Nvidia. Okay, so coming back to the stocks that had earnings once again. I know this one's a little bit wah, but it is Asana. Asana, one of my favorite stocks to trade back in the day when it was one of those hyped up positions. If you guys remember back in the day when all those IPOs that were coming out were really highly valued. I think this was in 2021 or so. Pretty high value IPOs. Stocks would IPO and just go to even higher valuations. Growth stocks would just keep on getting bought up, mainly by Cathie Wood and company, in my opinion, and they would just never stop. And sadly, however, the train did stop at one point and had to come all the way back down. So yeah, look at that move over here on Asana. People were losing their minds during that time period. I remember. You remember? I remember. Anyone knows where that one's from? That's South Park. Shout out to South Park. Looks like pretty choppy right now, honestly. Looking at the stock, look at the volume. Volume is only 1 mil. That's pretty sad. 5 mil, 1 mil, 2 mil average today. 5 mil. Maybe a little bit of an increase on the volume because of the earnings report today. So let's take a look at the earnings report. Still losing money, but 58% beat on EPS. That's pretty good. Overall, 2% beat on revenue. Not sure what direction the stock went to, but based on the earnings report right now, looks like possibly went to the upside. That would be my guess. Quickly going to put some levels that I might be interested in to the downside first. Then we'll mark up some levels that we might be interested to the upside. Starting with, I'll put these levels in and we'll see what happens. Right, you guys? 3, 2, 1, review of 5 minutes. Ooh, looks like we actually hit that $20 area and we dropped to the downside, sadly, over here, and kind of just struggled to even reclaim the day's low. So struggled to reclaim the day's low, sadly. I think I actually forgot to put down that marker. Let me go back to the 1-day chart, put down today's low and today's high. Oops, today's low, today's high. Based on how the stock traded here in the after hours and based on how the stock's trading in this range, honestly, not really too excited to make a trade over here on Asana. So Asana goes down on the importance for us tomorrow, but we will see if this one can bring in some more spikes to the north side, bring in some volume, actually reclaim this double top. Could even set an alert somewhere into $20 if we can push it into $20 and kind of reclaim 20, get above 20. Possible fun over there on Asana, but the fact that how the stock moved over here just didn't do anything for us in the after hours. So when a stock doesn't react properly, kind of doesn't have the Oracle type of reaction, kind of doesn't have the Oracle type of reaction, ORCL type of reaction in the after hours, then you just don't want to be interested in that position, ladies and gentlemen. Just don't want to be interested. You're better off putting your attention at way better stocks, and Oracle and ARM are going to be the ones tomorrow. The ones. That's right. Keep pushing, G. Have a great night, says Jesse. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate the love. Oh, never mind. It's quiet period. I think I read that. It's Aimer support. Lockup is done tomorrow as well. No. Aimer just IPO'd. I think lockup is usually around 180 days. Sometimes they do have a less of a lockup period, but Aimer. Yes, that's Aimer. Um, 180 days from the IPO date, which was, oh, there you go. I don't need to do all the guesswork. 30th. Wait, that's month. The 7th month, which is July. 30th July is the lockup expiration. God damn, why did that take so long for me to even understand? What the hell is a quiet period expiration? I guess the whistleblowers are able to blow their whistles. Quiet period expiration, I guess, coming up tomorrow though. Ooh, didn't mean to close that page. Let's kind of go back over here. Calm down, Prad. You don't need to be hasty. Let's see if Reddit popped up over here. Reddit's still not up here. We know that Reddit's IPOing actually on the 21st of March, so we still are not seeing anything about Reddit. Astra Labs, A Lab, $614 million IPO. Pretty interesting IPO over there, looking like. We might be interested to see what that one comes out as. This one's on the 20th of March. Is that at the end of the... No, that's on FOMC day. Wow, so we got a fun little IPO over here looking like Astra Lab. What do you guys even do? Semiconductor based. Oh my goodness. AI. Chatbot? Autonomous vehicles through speech recognition systems for chatbots? AI touches many aspects of our life from vision. Okay. Well, they're talking about a lot of AI in there. They're talking about a lot of semiconductors in there. So a lab possibly on watch. Might have to do a little bit more research. We will do a little bit more research going into that day whenever what's on FOMC day. So probably on the Tuesday night before FOMC, we'll find out a little bit more about that company. And obviously on FOMC night, we'll find out more about Reddit and see as that IPO gets closer and closer. There's actually a lot of fun conversations in our Discord channel. So if you're not in our Discord channel, go sign up for that one. Lots of fun conversations coming in on Reddit. We actually possibly can take a screenshot or open this image about Reddit from our friend Angry Buddha. Not sure if he's in the chat right now. Everyone say hi, Angry Buddha, in the chat if he is. But I'm going to take this image from him. Hopefully he doesn't mind me pulling this image. Here we go. Apparently around 30 to 31 to $34 coming in for their IPO, and they have some sort of a pre-IPO listing. Apparently you can through Robinhood invest in IPO before the IPO happens, so you can kind of get priced in before the IPO price, which could be higher or lower than the price that you get filled in for. So you're kind of front running it. I don't know how Robinhood's doing this crazy whack shit, but they're probably giving you a price somewhere in between, and then they're promising you the dream, and you just hope to hold on to this position and see if it ends up paying out for you. But overall, Robinhood, doing some crazy stuff at the end of the day. They even doing 24 hours trading now, so that's pretty crazy. So shout out to Robinhood, kind of just getting that ball rolling. They started the ball rolling already on no fees and so on, and we're seeing a lot of companies follow that fee structure, and then now they're kind of getting the ball rolling on 24 hours trading. So interesting to see if stock markets will catch up to futures markets in the way where we can trade it throughout the day. Markets will be a little bit more efficient that way, basically, right? annoying, but also gives us opportunities to trade. We'll see what happens. And in regards to stocks that report earnings tomorrow pre-market, because sadly that's only the stocks that I care about in the after hours, and the stock that we do care about, one of them just kind of rendered useless for themselves. So Asana is kind of is wiped off the watch list. So Oracle is the only one we care about in the stock that reported after hours. But tomorrow pre-market, ADM, ONON, and KSS, and also Manu. Almost forgot Manu was on the watch list over there. Those are the stocks from tomorrow's pre-market. After hour on Tuesday, sadly nothing really exciting over there. But I think tomorrow we'll have a lot of fun throughout the day, no matter what, because of CPI. CPI might just help us. If it's a surprise, we might see some fireworks taking off on CPI. And the next sector that I want to talk about over here is Bitcoin. Bitcoin going into a new all-time high. We're now above 70,000, and 70,000 most likely will start turning into some support after how long 70,000 was kind of being rejected. We got 3 insane rejections off of that 70K area on Bitcoin, and the fact that we are able to fight that selling action right back and go right back to the north side on Bitcoin every single time shows you that the buying might not be done yet. Satoshi himself might be waking up from grave, or wherever the hell it is that he's waking up from, and look at that. Wow. God damn it. I would have given you some monster opportunities to look long on the cryptocurrency ETFs, on the cryptocurrency positions, and so on. But yeah, monster opportunity to look long once again on Bitcoin. Now that we're into all-time highs, I mean, next stop 100,000. Is that the goal? Let me actually pull up the Bitcoin mandala. Okay, this is not the that is not the one that I'm trying to put up. Forgot how do you spell it. Is this it? How do you spell There we go. Okay. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this one is expecting. Wait. How do I draw this out? So July, January, July. Okay. So not this year July, but next year July is when the cycle selling starts, and the cycle tops out at 2026 January. Or is that cycle bottom? Wait. Cycle bottom and we go higher. We go higher, then cycle tops, and then we start going lower. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So cycle tops around 2026 January, apparently, according to this Bitcoin mandala chart, the Bitcoin mandala chart. So I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is just astrology for men. This is men kind of looking at oh, I'm a Leo, oh, I'm a Cancerian, and then all that kind of nonsense. Honestly, it's in a way, it's not as crazy as looking at technical indicators and looking at RSIs and MACDs, right? Anything is possible in the market. That's what makes the stock market so beautiful. Now, I don't know how repeatable that mandala chart is to trade off of on crypto, as much as, you know, using technical indicators such as a pennant break, or a wedge break, or a resistance break, or a support resistance break, or whatever. I don't know how much of a repetition and scalability that setup over there has, but some fun idea over there overall on Bitcoin. And you can see how Bitcoin just can't stop, won't stop, can't stop, won't stop to the upside. Let's go to our friends over at Think with Bookmap and go check out their Bitcoin stream real quick. We're gonna trigger their Bitcoin command if you have not hit the like button and the subscribe button on their channel, and also hit the like and subscribe button on my channel if you haven't already. Go check out your mama's text message. She's probably telling you to hit that like and subscribe right now, so make sure you hit that. But we're gonna go to our friends over at Think with Bookmap stream. We got we got Mr. Tavari. I don't know if I can say your name properly, my friend, but I appreciate your support, Mr. Tavari, saying that he was a big fan from me from my previous employer. But look at that seller right there. We got about 167 coin seller on 73,000 for Bitcoin, but we saw bigger sellers than that on Bitcoin into 70,000. I think we saw 400 coins, about 500 coins also on Bitcoin into 70k. So can't stop, won't stop these bad boys. One thing I do want to say though, you actually pointed it out. Thank you for pointing it out, TH. BITO. BITO is pretty surprising to me because it's not at all-time highs. Not at all-time highs like where Bitcoin is. So does that mean this has a lot more room to catch up? Or did it just IPO at a really wrong valuation? Like, how does that work? And at the same time, we have GBTC, which is at all-time highs and kind of looking a lot more like a Bitcoin chart. Also, GBTC has been on the market much longer. It's actually been trading in the OTC market. So it's looking a lot more like the Bitcoin chart because it's been tracking Bitcoin for X amount of time longer than BITO. But then what is your argument for IBIT? Because if you go to IBIT, IBIT actually has been looking a lot more like Bitcoin ever since it IPO'd, and actually been tracking Bitcoin a lot better, and the volume has been insane. 80 million, 70 million, 44 million. So the iShares Bitcoin at the moment has been bringing the most volume. BITO is also obviously bringing in good amount of volume. You got 20 million average or so. You're trading at $33. But BITO, you might have a lot of bag holders ready to jump out at the IPO price. So for that reason, I think I'm ready to kind of just not care about BITO anymore and look at IBIT instead, the clearly more liquid position and clearly the more loved position at the moment, where buyers are coming in and positioning themselves. Some of them might be going to GBTC doing a little bit lower volume than BITO actually, if I can see it properly. But in terms of notional, which is dollar volume, I think GBTC and BITO are actually doing very similar amount of dollar volume. But IBIT might be beating them all out of the park over here. IBIT doing a lot more dollar volume, actually into an all-time high, and tracking Bitcoin, I guess, a little bit better, at least off of a visual value over here. You might disagree with me based on numerical value, because I think the numerical value kind of could stand out over here. I'm not sure, I haven't done the back test for it, but off the rip, the one doing a lot more volume, the one clearly is being traded more. I want to be involved in this. You could go trade your Coinbases and Maras and so on. Obviously, every single time cryptocurrencies move around, you expect Coinbase, you expect Mara to join that party along with them. But Coinbase has been a little wild, so I'm not really interested in that wildness that Coinbase brings in. I guess Coinbase has always been a wild. It's never really been a clean stock to trade, even when it was in the $100 ranges, and now you're in the almost damn near $300 ranges. So it's a little wild for me, so I try to stay away from Coinbase. However, I watch Bitcoin. You guys see what I do over here, right? I've shown you guys how to install this trick to get a time of sales for Bitcoin. So I got my Bitcoin time of sales launched up, and I'm watching my Bitcoin ETFs, either BITO, either GBTC, or IBIT, and I'm trading them and having some fun over there. So as long as cryptocurrencies keep boosting up, we will keep having fun with those positions every single day. Let me quickly, I think I already did IBIT. Let me see if I did BITO. I think I already did BITO, but we don't really like BITO as much as we used to. It's not our friend anymore. It used to be our good friend though, not anymore. I think I showed you the earnings board for tomorrow. Yes, pretty good earnings board. ADM, ON, cold. Workhorse, pretty sure no one trades that position anymore. I remember Workhorse coming out with a pretty bad report about their EV cars and just destroying their valuation. And ever since then, just never really looked at that position. Sadly, down goes Workhorse. Also looking at after the earnings report, we talked about the ARM IPO. We talked about CPI. We forgot to talk about CPI. So let's go talk about the economic calendar. Economic calendar tomorrow, very, very busy at 8:30. We got the OPEC monthly report. So that's going to be the oil, possibly the oil market, if I'm about to guess. The what does OPEC even stand for? I don't even know what OPEC stands for, I'll be honest. But Oil Production European Commission? Oh, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. I was so wrong on that. But I guess I got the oil part right. Petroleum. Screw it, dude. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Okay. OPEC. So OPEC oil report coming out over there. Why did I even say Europe? I don't even know. It's an American thing. I'm thinking about Aramco and a bunch of other stuff overall. But okay, anyways, OPEC numbers coming out at 8:30. That's going to be your oil market moving around. You got the core CPI. That's the overall market moving around. So watch out for that. I think I saw inflation numbers, sorry, bond numbers. So yeah, we do have a bond number at 1 o'clock. That's going to move the market without doubt. A 10-year one, a 20-year one, a 30-year one. The longer the time frame, the more important they are for the interest rates and so on. So watching the bond numbers at 1 o'clock, watching the CPI numbers at 8:30, and if you trade the oil numbers, then you might be important to go check what's going on with the 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock numbers over here for the OPEC monthly report. Keep that on watch list for yourself if you are trading that. Do not ignore these time periods, because if you do, you might get hurt. So be very, very careful, ladies and gentlemen. Be very careful. BITO monthly dividend over 12%. IBIT doesn't pay a dividend. Ooh, TH coming in with a good rebuttal as to why you might want to buy BITO and hold on to BITO instead of IBIT if you're investing into Bitcoin without directly investing into Bitcoin. So if you do want to do that, IBIT actually gives you a dividend for investing in Bitcoin, whereas BITO actually gives you a dividend for investing in Bitcoin, whereas IBIT does not give you a dividend at all. And if you kind of want to ignore what I said about how the stock might have a lot more selling into the all-time high of the stock itself, let's kind of look at the other side of the coin. Maybe the stock actually has a lot more room to catch up into its own all-time high if Bitcoin can keep rallying along to the north side. So this stock has about a $10 room to the north side into all-time high. So a lot of room over there that you could possibly be interested to join, with awesome risk to reward areas already being showing up on the position over here. You can see $30 area showing up as a good support. I mean, $3 risk for a $10 reward. That seems pretty decent for me. So swing trade overall, but you're also betting on that for Bitcoin to not really overnight get destroyed, and next thing you know, you wake up and this stock is trading at like $12 or something, right? So you want to be a little careful about that. Owning BITO doesn't mean that you are safe from Bitcoin volatility. It still moves around. Granted that BITO, GBTC, and IBIT, if they do drop 10% in one day, that will trigger the SSR mechanic for the stock on that day itself and the next day. But Bitcoin doesn't have SSR. Just because the ETFs triggered SSR doesn't mean Bitcoin needs to stop going down. So if Bitcoin just continues going down, these stocks could easily just keep getting hammered and hammered and hammered, because these ETFs have enough amount of how do I put it? Enough amount of shares, enough amount of inventory sitting in their books that they could dump onto the open market, because at the end of the day they are tracking the market for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's dumping, it doesn't matter if it's SSR, we have legitimate inventory that we can dump onto the market. So obviously you are going to be a little bit careful over here. IBIT is a more pure play on Bitcoin, says TH. Ooh, so that you agreed with my idea over there on IBIT. IBIT is a more pure play on Bitcoin, whereas BITO, I guess, is a little bit more safe slash investing slash mutual fund way to invest in Bitcoin overall, which gives you a pretty good dividend. So you might want to be looking at either of those. I actually look at all three. I look at GBTC, I look at BITO, I look at IBIT, I look at Coinbase, Mara. That's a lie. I don't look at Coinbase. I do look at Coinbase. If I find a trade, I'll get into it, but I don't really go out of my way to find a trade in Coinbase as much as I do with BITO or IBIT when I want to trade Bitcoin moves. However, today they didn't really do a whole lot of anything for us. Boring. Back from squash. What I miss? Why you lying, bro? Look at Dieter's lying ass over here saying he just did squash. You lying ass Dieter. Come on, bro. Why you lying? Thinking about what else I have to talk over here. Mainly wanted to talk about, you know, the cryptocurrency stocks. Why don't we go look at the apples? I mean, Apple had a pretty good green day again, even though the market struggled. Market down on the day for all three: IWM, SPY, QQQ. Apple up 1%. So Apple over here getting ready to get reclaimed into 180. Apple dropping about what, 20% from all-time highs. That's a buy Apple territory, guys. Anytime Apple drops 15-20%, you buy Apple. It's that simple. Like, anytime Apple goes down 15-20%, you buy Apple. But obviously, you know, I'm not an Apple lover. I don't use any Apple products. I'm actually looking around my desk before I say that out loud. Why do I even I don't even have to look around my room or my desk to be ashamed, because I don't have any Apple products, okay? I don't do Apple. But you know, Apple, anytime it goes down to 20%, 30%, that is honestly a pretty good idea to think about buying some shares. It should rebound back to the north side. This is the world's second largest company, for goddamn sake, right? So we don't expect the stock to start failing anytime soon. However, their sales are going down a bit, so you might want to be careful for that one. But right now, a complete opposite move to what the market's doing. It wants to do its own move to the upside, and shout out to Apple for that. I think Meta is actually joining that party a little bit too. Ooh, Meta got sold today, ladies and gentlemen. What the fudge? Meta got sold today. Meta flushing back to the downside, testing the earnings anchored VWAP. Nice little flush on Meta. Sad move over there. I guess the market finally correcting the stock. I'm guessing Netflix is back under 600. Is exactly at 600. Shout out to Netflix. There's a nice little high coming into play over here on Netflix. Possibly that keep them watch to see what Netflix does in the next few days. Maybe if the market CPI tomorrow, if the market can break out with that CPI to the upside, Netflix could possibly catch some traction, especially with, oh yeah, especially with the whole Mike Tyson, Jake Paul thing going on. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight's going to be streamed on Netflix. How many eyes are on Netflix? How many homes in America, in Canada, and the world have Netflix, right? And if they don't have Netflix, they might want to get Netflix at this point for this fight. How many boxers, fighters who previously streamed fights without actually paying for it might not actually be able to stream this fight, sadly, because it's on Netflix, and Netflix has like a stream preview blocker that they do. It's pretty cool. I think it's actually beatable on Microsoft, the Mozilla Firefox, and so on. Look at me, Hackermans over here. But the overall, Netflix is a, you know, monster at the moment, and shout out to Netflix for a big recovery. I think Netflix with this whole catalyst, and especially with CPI tomorrow, possibly a good stock to watch as to see if 600 can continue showing us support. So watch out, Netflix. Google, if I remember correctly, flushed down today. No, Google had a green day, did it? It did. Nice day on Google. Amazon was the one that flushed down. Let's still go take a look at Amazon over here. Amazon had a nice little flush into earnings anchored VWAP. Amazon flushing back into previous ranges. But good to see that Apple and Google, which were the ones that got flushed to the big time to the downside, finally recovering. We also have Tesla recovering a little bit. Shout out to Tesla. So Google, Apple, and Tesla, all three recovering. Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon, all three getting sold. So that's the overall news over here on the big cap tech stocks. We got QQQ, like we mentioned not too long ago, red on the day, sadly. We also got SPY red on the day, but even bigger red than both of them is IWM. IWM flushing back to the downside over here after making some monster moves. The small cap season looked like it was waking up, but now it's kind of dying back down, sadly. So not really too fun watching the small caps kind of die out over there, right? Not too fun, not too fun. But hopefully we see what happens with small caps waking up. We see what happens with cryptocurrencies moving around. We see what happens with the earning stocks in fun tomorrow. Mainly Oracle. It's mainly Oracle, ADM, and ONON. Not really that. Oh. Ho. I like that. I like that gap. That's what she said. Wait, what? Why would she say that? How would I have a gap? Pause. That's what I said. Nah, that's what she said. Mind the gap. Isn't that what the subways usually say? Mind the gap. You mind the gap before you enter the train cart or something. Mind the gap. ADM, however, earnings coming out tomorrow pre-market, possibly some fun fireworks moves to the upside or to the downside, just putting in some of my levels over here that I might be interested in. If these levels do come into play, maybe we got some trades over there, but if these levels don't come into play in pre-market, then I possibly just won't be interested. For example, if the stock is stuck in today's range or yesterday's day's range, I just won't be interested at all, because the stock's ATR is $1.32, which is actually not low. It's actually not bad. Archer Daniels, by the way, for anyone wondering, it's not low. Wait, what the hell? The same logo? Did they change their logo? Oh, they changed their logo up a bit. That's cool. Arthur Daniels coming out with the earnings report. We'll see if they move up or move down. We got a couple areas over here that we'll possibly be interested in. Sadly, the stocks average volume is around 5 million shares. Recently, we brought in about 40 million volume. That's what brought in the big gap down over here. Not sure what the news catalyst was over here in January 22nd, but big gap down on that news catalyst. But now, let's see if we can reverse that move and start getting ready to close that gap on Archer Daniels. ADM back to the north side, along with ONON and KSS. KSS obviously not interesting at all to trade. It's kind of in that gap GPS basket of stocks to trade. So KSS, if you're interested to watch how this one moves around, you're more than welcome to. It reports earning tomorrow pre-market. Manu usually has some fun moves right now, already starting that fun to the downside. So Manu starting that fun a little bit earlier. We'll see if the earnings can come in to rescue this position. Previously was about to get bought out or was looking to get bought out. Those deals fell apart, and then they ended up getting bought out by some other company or some family or something. I forget exactly what happened, but overall, Manu selling back to the downside over here, and now we're waiting to see if the earnings report can come in and save this position. Sadly, the average volume is 2 million shares, and the stock has been trading lower than 1 million shares every single day. If the volume tomorrow is not bumping in pre-market, the stock won't make the cut tomorrow for me either, so you got to keep in mind for that one. Costco on the watch list tomorrow, mainly looking for that day 3 type of situation. We had the monster day 1 play, we had the monster day 2 play. Now we're looking to see if a day 3 situation can come in over here that we can take advantage on. Let's quickly go back into the 5-minute chart, see if we traded some sort of a clean opening 5-minute range break. We did not, but that's a pretty good consolidation. I did tell you that don't expect the stock to have as big of an ATR as it did on day 1, so that's exactly how it played out. However, we are pushing even more to the downside. I'm expecting that 700 area to honestly come into play. So if that's the case, we could have some $10 $5 action, maybe if not $10 action to the downside into 700. And if 700 holds, you could have a nice little long from that also. So watching how the stock behaves into 700. Today's low is 711. Come on, come on. Are we kidding? That's racist. So 711, watching how 711 plays out, and today's high was exactly 720. Okay, that's pretty crazy. Exactly 720 and exactly 711 for a stock whose ATR is currently $14. So watching Costco tomorrow, see how that stock sets up. Marvel giving you a wonderful opening range breakout short. Look at that right there. So it kind of goes into the opening range, 5-minute low, pulls back, goes into the opening range, 5-minute high, comes back down, sets up for a monster short, gives you almost $2 short or something. I mean, you had a beautiful opportunity to get short there. We read the report live on stream for you guys. We saw that bearish tendencies coming into the position. $70 area is finally coming into play. But what happens near 70 and under 70? I think how bearish the report was, we could easily continue flushing to the downside. So a break below 70, in my opinion, will open up a little bit more room over here, down to $66, down to $67. So watching how Marvell trades around 70 and possibly looking to jam that short on the break of 70 to the downside on MRVL, especially if AMD, Nvidia, and all other stocks are also pushing to the downside, and we see some good shortable patterns forming on MRVL. Micron broke the all-time high recently without any real catalyst, but now pushing right back down to the south side. TSM, one of those crazy stocks that has been catching some traction along with Nvidia, going into a new all-time high, if I remember correctly, not too long ago. Yes, going into a new all-time high, but now pulling right back. Nice little rejection forming around $144 now, so possibly also on watch tomorrow. You could trade, TSM off the sympathy off of Nvidia if you don't want to trade Nvidia because of how expensive of a stock it is, and you can't really manage that risk or so on. Or you can even trade AMD itself. But overall, I think Marvell is my poison that I'm going to pick, because it actually had an earnings catalyst recently, and if the stock is going to follow the Nvidias or AMDs, it's almost a simpler trade for me, in my opinion, to just kind of trade that stock, especially if it can bring in some volume. So we'll see how Marvell sets up tomorrow for us to have some fun. We pretty much hit the nail on every single stock for tomorrow. Looking at the chart, seeing what chat, looking at the chat, let's see what you guys are talking about. No real stocks being mentioned. The chat rate is 0. That's pretty sad. Come on, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let me know you guys love what I'm talking about over here. And if you want me to pull up a stock, let me know. Something I want to talk about over here: Boeing whistleblower found dead in the US. Do I have any emotes on this? I don't have any good emotes on that. But this is little fishy. Boeing whistleblower found dead in America. As he was actually talking to the courts and lawyers and all that other stuff, found dead in his truck in the hotel, which is also pretty crazy. I mean, look, you don't mess with the Zohan, right? At the same time, you don't also mess with Boeing. Simply don't mess with Boeing. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is just don't short it. Just don't short it, because they'll come for you. They'll come for you, okay? If they can take out a whistleblower, they'll take out the short sellers without a problem. Be careful, man. Boeing. That's a pretty insane story. I mean, that's not a small story over there. That's a pretty insane story. The fact that things like this can still happen in today's day and age is wild. People don't just drop dead when they're testifying about the wrongdoings of a company or the wrongdoings of a big airline maker such as Boeing themselves and so on, right? They don't just drop dead. I think he got Jeffrey Epstein, man. I think he got Jeffrey Epstein over there. So we'll see if Boeing kind of has some sort of a move tomorrow off that news report. I think it came out like what 2-3 hours ago. So basically after the hours, no real move on the stock after the hours over here. But we'll be interested to see. I mean, that type of speculation shouldn't really move the market or shouldn't really move the stock. But I'll be interested to see how Boeing sets up tomorrow. Pretty crazy report if you ask me. Let's go to, what is this? We don't need that guy anymore. Let's go here. Let's go to the tweet from Stock Market News with the Z, not with the S. Let's see what he's talking about. What's on store for Tuesday, March 12th. Earnings watch. Notable companies due to report include Archer Daniels. We talked about that. ON Holdings. We talked about that. Kohl's. We talked about that. International Game Technology. What the hell is that? IGT. Let's go see if IGT is even worth to have on our watch list. $25 stock, barely even a $1 million average 30-day volume. I don't think this one's worth having on the watch tomorrow. But we'll see if it brings in volume tomorrow pre-market. Options trading implies double-digit share prices moves for Allbirds, BIRD, and Workhorse Group, WKHS, both of which don't care about. Okay. Healthcare watch. The healthcare sector will be on watch with Barclays 26th Annual Global Healthcare Conference and Leerink Partners Global Biopharma Conference running. So biopharma sector, I guess Lab U, Lab D. Lab D is the 3 times leveraged down ETF. Lab U would be the up one. Not sure what other ETFs could come into play over here for the biotech healthcare sector, but you can possibly keep that on watch for yourselves. But I'm not gonna take an interest in that one at all, just so you know. But something that you guys keep on watch, especially if you own any biotech stocks or biotech ETFs. All day, notable investors events include ACI Worldwide, ACIW, Analyst Day, Infrastructure Holdings, Instructure Holdings, Instructure. What kind of name is that? Instructure Holdings. I'm losing my mind. Investor Day, Cisco, Tech Talk, and an appearance by a large range of companies at the JP Morgan Industrial Conference, including Delta Airlines, DAL, Honeywell, and Canadian Pacific Kansas City. Isn't that stock that Bill Ackman owns? He talked about that in the Lex Friedman podcast. Go check out that podcast if you haven't yet. He talks about how he changes the whole Canadian Pacific company, CP. If I remember, that's the company that he actually owns. A little bit of it, not the 100% of it, but he owns that company. All day, a block of shares of ARM. We talked about that one. A block of shares of ARM will roll off their IPO lockup period. In general, analysts think that the post-lockup sales could be absorbed by the market. Although huge share price rally in the last 6 weeks has raised the stakes. We also talked about that one. These guys should hire me. Consumer Price Index report on February will be released. We also talked about that. Karuna Therapeutics, KRTX holders vote on Bristol Myers deal, BMY. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, for those of you who look at buyout names or so on, Bristol Myers and KRTX trade deal to be reported voted on at 9 a.m. So possibly watch out to see what happens over there. Six Flags holders vote on the deal with Cedar Fair Union Fund. So Six and Fund possibly on a merger, possibly on a deal to buy one out or the other. So that one's happening at 11 a.m. So 2 merger and acquisition time slots over there, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. and obviously 8:30. We got the wonderful CPI. What about the XLE sector? Isn't that the energy sector? XLE went up today. I mean, do I really care about XLE when we got cryptocurrencies doing what they're doing? I mean, that's a pretty good move. 1% up to the north side is not bad at all. Wow, yeah, that's an awesome move. That's a monster move over here. Beautiful hold of yesterday's low and then just ripped after holding yesterday's low. Monster move overall. If we'll see if volume can come into XLE over here even more to the north side. Maybe we can join the party. Some of the stocks in the XLE sector are Oxy, CVX. Oxy actually getting ready for a monster breakout. What? Guess who's adding Oxy to his watch list? So adding Oxy to the watch list right there, 6150 to 6170, I guess I want to put in. We'll put 6160 to 6170. Watching that area to see how the stock trades and if we can actually burst above here and hold above here, and XLE is taking off to the north side. Oxy has some good fun moves over here. I'm not gonna actually also need to scrape the ATR for Oxy. So what is Oxy's ATR, my friend? Please educate me. It's about $1.07 in my notes. If XLE is up and Oxy is clearly above the R, get long. That's the only stock I basically have notes for because I really like that flag. This is a beautiful bull flag on the daily chart, guys. Beautiful bull flag on the daily chart, getting ready to burst the north side. Oh, you guys know how much I like it when it bursts. So we'll see if CVX is kind of looking similar to it. Not at all. Is what's the other one? CVX, Oxy, XOM. Is XOM looking a little bit similar to it? Not at all, but XOM is actually getting ready to continue moving up. So if Oxy, which is mergers and acquisitions, mergers and acquisitions. Did I say mergers? Well, I don't know. Whatever. My English is horrible. Anyways, you guys know English third language. Come on, you guys gotta give me some leeway here. But Oxy is setting up for a beautiful breakout on that daily chart. Beautiful bull flag on the daily chart. CVX and XOM not looking similar. This is also Papa Buffett's favorite position, so we'll see if it can catch some traction tomorrow to the upside. Thank you for putting Oxy on my watch list, Dieter. Merger and acquisitions. That's pretty funny. That's hilarious. Let's see if we have a YouTube video that we can watch. And if not, then I'll just kind of call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I have a YouTube video that I'm going to watch tonight. Kill Tony is going live right now. So I got to go watch Kill Tony. Ramadan Kareem. Oh, it's Ramadan already. I got to miss all my Muslim friends. Did I say miss? See, I can't even realize what I'm saying. I want to say wish. I'm going to wish and I want to wish. I'm going to have to send all my Muslim friends a message. Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak, happy Ramadan, everybody. All my Muslim friends all across the world. I know it's going to be a tough next 30 days, right? Next 30 days, they're going to be fasting during the morning, and they can only drink water, and they can only eat after the sun sets, and actually in Mecca, wherever Mecca is. But yeah, Ramadan starting. So shout out to all my Muslim friends. I hope that you're able to successfully go through it, do it successfully, and stay strong through it, my friends. Stay strong through it. Yo, Angry Buddha, you see this? You see my video suggestions over here? I got goddamn building pal world houses. Killed Tony. But let's go check out SMB Capital real quick. Go check out SMB Capital. See if they have a new video for us to watch. More swing trading videos. Come on. Yeah, swing trading strategies of prop firm. We want some day trading videos, dude. Come on. Nothing really for us to watch over here on these guys, sadly. But we'll see what happens. I host an MMA fight night. Really, what the hell? But I'm more interested in this one. But that's gonna be the end for me, guys, because nothing else really to talk about. We hit everything we wanted to hit on the nail. We have our 3-4 most important stocks mapped out for tomorrow. We talked about the economic calendar. We got you ready for the upcoming IPO calendar. We got you ready for the CPI tomorrow. For those of you wondering what the CPI expectations are, the forecast is coming in at 0.4% for month over month, and for year over year we're coming in at 3.1%. Now a big miss on that number to the upside or to the downside will cause the market to really move around, but a number in line with this is going to possibly do a nothing burger of a move, so maybe watch out for that. And we also talked about the important events such as ARM IPO lockup period and all that other fun stuff. So make sure that you are ready for tomorrow. Today the markets might not have done anything and it kind of just would have been a sit on your hands type of day. That's pretty much what I did. So shout out to me, pat on my back for being disciplined, pat on my back for doing nothing. And tomorrow might just be a risk on type of day. So let's see what happens off of that 830 number. I wish you guys all a big CPI day. I can't wait to see you guys at 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All my social media links are down below in the description. Go check out my social media, Discord, Instagram, Twitter, where I'm most active on. Go check out those links all in the description. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga. The link is down below. You guys see me grabbing Benzinga's earnings reports all the time off of Benzinga Pro, so their link is down below in the description. Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to. If you don't have Trade Ideas, you're gonna probably miss out on a lot of stocks that you might want to be trading. So go check out Trade Ideas. They also have a promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. You can also use the same promo code to use the discount on TraderSync, which is what I use to track all my statistics on my trading data. So go check out TraderSync, and that link is also in the description below, along with Patreon and also Cameo. You guys know where all those links are. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.